What's up, you guys? This is Chris Rukov for supposedly hand of the week, but today is not going to be hand of the week. It's going to be Q&A episode 2. I did an extensive episode last time. It was like 15-17 minutes. Today's going to be less than that, but I'm going to address some other issues or questions that have been asked to me by students, friends, and viewers. So first question that I get a lot from students or wannabe students, and I hear all the time, is what bankroll do I need? And I address this in depth into my course. Basically, there is no one glove fits all of an answer, but my favorite formula is square root of the number of tables you play times 15. For example, if you play 4 tables, square root of 4 is 2. 2 times 15, you need 30 buy-ins. But buy-in, for those of you who play live, one buy-in is 100 big blinds. It's always been measured in that. I know some of you might play short, which is 35 to 40 big blinds. Some of you may play deep tables, which is 200 big blinds and up. But big blind strategy, big stack strategy, it's BSS. Big stack strategy is 100 big blinds is supposedly big stack. So when I say 300 buy-ins, I mean 3,000 big blinds. So why this formula is my favorite? Back in the day, there used to be a formula that used to state that you need to play with 30 buy-ins. Or actually it was, no, I'm lying, it was 25 buy-ins. Because when I spoke with a couple of American friends, they said 5% of a bankroll, which is the same. 5% of a bankroll is 1/25th, so 25 buy-ins. Now with, the development of poker went in a certain way that people realized that the more bankroll you have, the better. Obviously, if you have 1,000 buy-ins, it's gonna be the best. But when you have 1,000 buy-ins, percentage-wise, when you win a buy-in or two, if you win one buy-in and you have 1,000, the increase is 0.01%, I think. So it's like so minuscule. The whole idea behind it is to take into account the money that you have invested, because the whole buy-ins are invested. Keep it in a separate bank account, if you will, if you play live, or if you play poker online, keep it online, and this is your online bankroll. So when you lock in, for example, for 10 NL, you deposit $300. Don't touch that money, this is poker money. So basically it's all invested buy-in, if you will. If you win 1, 2, or 3 buy-ins, you're gonna reach $330. Now imagine you had $1,000 and you win $30. Compare that $30 to the 1,000, and you're gonna see that's way less of a percentage that you increased your bankroll, your overall bankroll, compared to if you win $30 on $300 buy-in. So with all that said, the less tables you play, the less variance you're gonna experience, obviously, because you're gonna play less and less hands. Contrarily, the more hands you play, the more variance you're going to experience because you're going to play more hands. So this method that I'm telling you takes into account the tables that you play, and the more tables you play, obviously, the more hands you're going to play and the more variance you're going to experience. So if you play, for example, 16 tables, square root of 16 is 4. 4 times 15 is 60. So you need 60 buy-ins if you play 16 tables. Now you can see how it takes into account the variance that you're gonna take as a hit. Obviously 16 tables is a lot. I would say don't play 16 regular tables unless you're a really serious grinder and that's what you want to do. The more tables you play, you're gonna yield, or you're gonna squeeze less and less BBs per 100, which how we measure things online. I'm saying that just in case you play live. In live game, you measure things in money per hour, obviously. Now, in my career, the most tables I've played was 23 tables. I was in a competition for something called The Beast on ACR, or America Card Room. Yeah, America Card Room. And I finished third. I played 23 tables. It was a long grind, but anyways, that's a different story. Optimally, you want to play amount of tables that you're going to feel comfortable with. Zoom tables or fast fold tables, or however they're called in other poker websites, I've played up to 6, which is, I used to play 4 tables of the stake that I play, for example 10 NL, and then 2 tables of the next stake, for example 16 NL, or whatever the case. If you play 4 tables of 50 NL and 2 tables of 100 NL, that was a bit too much. I stopped doing that. I played like that for maybe a week. I stopped doing that. You yield about 250 hands per table. So if you play 4 tables, you make 1,000 hands an hour. If you play 6 tables, you make 1500 hands an hour. And now we're gonna touch on the win rates. You're gonna see how that actually comes into effect. On regular tables, you play 80 hands an hour on average regular table, 6 max. And the win rate there on the micro stakes, I would like to see something between 5 and 10 big blinds per 100 hands. Generally, that's what you can squeeze out of that because the players are the same and you can have some read on them. Now, if you play Zoom tables, it drops down to between 3 and 6 big blinds per 100. But again, you increase the hands a lot. For example, one regular table is 80 hands an hour, one Zoom table is 250 hands an hour. So basically, one Zoom table is a little bit more than 3 regular tables. So when you play 4 Zoom tables, you essentially are playing 12 and a half, I think it's 12 and a half regular tables. So cap there, unless you're a really grinder and you got 2 monitors and the whole setup and the whole shebang. But if you have that, I don't think you'll be watching my channel, because my channel is mostly for the beginner players, for the players who are trying to learn, you know, not for the experts. Now, with that said, you can calculate how many hands you want to play a day, or should I say how many hours you want to play a day. Then you're going to see when you play X amount of hours, how many hands you're going to yield. And if you have, let's say on the lower spectrum, let's say you play Zoom, 4 tables, that's going to be 1,000 hands an hour. And if you make, let's say 3 big blinds 100, which is the lower end, you're going to calculate, and you can calculate how many hands you're actually going to play. Let me calculate real quick. So basically for 3,000 hands or so, if you make 3 big blinds per 100, you're gonna make 1 stack. So for 3 hours, if you play 10 NL, you're gonna make $10. And I know it does not count, and I know it does not sound very encouraging, but you need to grind through that, because if you go to, you know, 100 no limit and you play the same, you're gonna be making $100 for 3 hours, which is 33 bucks an hour, which is, you know, pretty good. I don't know about you, but that's pretty good. Or, you know, we can always calculate it. I think it's for 1,000 hands on 10 no limit, 3 big blinds per 100 is $3. And if you play, you know, for 1 hour and you make 1,000 hands, you're gonna average $3. Now, it's not gonna be always like that. It's gonna be like this, right? We all know how variance goes. I've explained that extensively in other videos. So $3 an hour, not bad for a beginner. When you go to 25 NL, you're gonna be making $7.50 an hour, and when you go to 100 NL, obviously you're going to be making 30. So what about live players? So that's kind of where I'm not really 100% sure what to advise to you, because live you play average 30-ish hands an hour, you can play only 1 table, so you're going to experience the least amount of variance. With that said, that means if you catch a downswing, it's going to be very hard to bounce back, because it's a very slow type of process. With that said though, the minimum stake live is 2-4 limit, which I don't advise you to play. I did play on 2-4 limit. I'll release the video soon. I averaged about $9 an hour on 2-4 limit. It's very annoying. Just you're gonna watch the videos. It's my RukovGrind Challenge 3. But if you play, you know, 200 NL or 1-2, how we referred, you know, for live is 1-2, for online is 200 NL, although it's the same. We buy in with $200, which is 100 big blinds. Then what I would advise is have 15 buy-ins, which is $3,000 for the lowest stakes, and play very conservatively and very passively. Now, what can you expect from that? In my experience, from the players I've talked and from my own win rate, I make a bit above average on that stake. Compared to 2-5, where I make quite a lot below average. But you know, girls, don't get discouraged. So I've heard, and from what I've read, you can expect somewhere along the lines of $22 to $27. So let's call it 25 bucks an hour from playing live 1-2. From 2-5, the average win rate, from what I've read, is $40 an hour. Again, I make kind of way below that on 2-5, I don't know why. But on 2-5 there's more bluffing going on, there's more bluff catching going on. It's a little bit more complex game. It's the same like online. If you go and play 200 no limit and up online, that's kind of, I think, the equivalent of 2-5. Maybe 100 no limit is the equivalent of 2-5 live. And regarding to 1-2 live, it is the same as 10, maybe 25 no limit. online, which is 10, 25 cents or 5, 10 cents. And it's funny because there's so much more money involved, but the players are equally, how do you not say stupid? Weak, equally weak. And that's pretty much all it is to the bankroll. For 2.5, I would suggest you not have 15 buy-ins, but have maybe 20 as a minimum. So have $10,000 ready, ready to deploy at any point. As I've talked before to other regulars, I always bring enough money to the poker room when I go to play, because it is stupid. Some people have a stop loss, which I don't really believe in. If the table is good, all you need to care about is the game good? Are they fish on the table? Are there money to be made? What happens if you have a set and you make the right move and they catch their flush draw? Or you ship the top set and they call you with aces and they river an ace. You're, 2 buy-ins down. Let's say you play 2.5, you're $1,000 down. Are you gonna leave? No, it was a good move. It just happened variance. Variance happened, that's all. Then you decide to bluff somebody when you check raise all in on the turn with a flush draw doesn't come, you're 3 buy-ins down. Then aces versus kings, your aces get cracked, or aces versus whatever, your aces gets cracked, you're $2,000 down. Are you gonna leave? No. What if the guy that called you when you had aces had pocket sixes? You wanna be there on the table, you wanna make that money, because this guy will leave soon and you don't wanna leave before him. All you need to do is follow the fish and the money will follow. It's a long game, guys. Keep in mind that in long term, like players always talk in long term, it's very long. It's very long. It is not 1 day, 1 month, 1 week. Actually, my interview for Poker Strategy, I mentioned this, that, I don't see time as 1 week or 1 month. We put those limits on time. Time is since you start playing poker till either you die or you never play poker anymore. This is the whole time continuum. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna look at my month by month. Year by year is way better way to look at it. Even this is, takes a lot of variance. For example, into the Ed Miller's book, I think it's called the 1%, 1% professional players or something of the nature. He mentioned that if a poker player makes $100,000 this year and next year he plays the exact same hands with the exact same players, he can expect to make somewhere between 30,000 and 250,000. So he just hit the average of 100K, but he can make, so it's a very wide spread in between. Basically the amplitude of what the variance does to you and to your bankroll is very, very wide. So the more bankroll you have, the better. All the bankrolls I've mentioned so far are the minimums that you would like to have to, start playing on those stakes. Once you get below 10,000 and 2.5, just switch back to 1.2, grind a little bit, learn a little bit more, and just go and smash 2.5. And I see I'm over 10 minutes, but I want to mention something else, because a lot of people are asking me what it's like to be a poker pro. Is it, like on TV that it's all glamour, girls in bars? It is so not like that, at least for me. It is so not like that. Oh my God, I cannot start explaining to you. It's so not like that. So first of all, you grind 5 to, plus hours a day, maybe 5, maybe 6. Second of all, what I did is I have Ziploc bags with money inside for each day, because for those of you who bought my course, you know that I don't want to know how much I'm up or down, because that's going to influence your decisions ultimately. So I have bags, let's say Monday through Friday I play. And each bag I open, put it in my pocket, go play, put the money back in the bag and leave it at home. I do not look how much I'm up or down. Okay, let's say the bag has $2,000 in it. I go, play, come back, leave it. And then on the day that I don't play, I only know how many hours I played that day. Let's say Monday I played 6 hours. I open the bag, I see I'm, for example, $600 up. So I write, on my app on my phone that I was up, 600, which is $100 an hour. But anyways, this is how I do it, so I do not know how much I'm up. Basically, every week I learn how much up I am or how much negative I am. And the other thing is, after you finish playing, let's say you finish playing your 6 hours, you might be frustrated, you might be tilted, you might be happy, whatever the case. For those of you who still tilt, I highly recommend. All right, I went to grab the book. I highly recommend this book. It's The Mental Game of Poker 2 by Jared Tendler. Read both books, read 1 and 2, but in this one, it is about the zone and the A game. The first one has a lot about the tilt. I do not have the hard copy, I have it online, but I read those books once each year, and I have not tilted in, I don't know, maybe 4 years. Not even gotten mad in life, to be honest. But anyways, after you finish playing, you go home, you discuss hands online on boards or Reddit or 2+2, whatever, or with friends that you have poker friends, or you go out with friends that you discuss is poker. It's an ongoing profession that you need to master if you want to become, you know, a poker pro, or you want this to be your profession. So it is not as easy as, you know, they portray on TV. So before you start playing professionally, right now maybe you have a job and you play recreationally, think good about your decision. Do you want to do that? It's a highly volatile, there's no salary each month, you know what I mean? You cannot plan on vacation, because 3 days before vacation, what happened to me, and I did have my expenses covered for 3 months ahead at all times, which I advise you to do. I think I dropped like 5K or 4K, something like that. Go on vacation now, yeah, have fun. Yay! It's a very interesting profession that is not like your regular 9-to-5 job. So think good before you do it. With all that said, those are all the questions I wanted to cover in that Q&A. Give the video a thumbs up, leave me a comment, leave more questions if you want. I'll highly appreciate you, those of you who actually support me to grow the channel. And with that said, see you next time, guys. Good luck on the tables.